You know something? I used to hate coincidences. I'm a logic guy, a cause and effect kind of guy. If I'm late, it's because I didn't leave on time, not because the universe was conspiring against me. If I'm broke, it's because I spent too much, not because my abundance frequency was low. I liked things clean, linear, predictable. But there was this specific time in my life, about 3 years ago, where everything just felt off. On paper, I was fine. Good job, decent apartment, relationship was okay. But inside? Inside, it felt like I was holding up a collapsing ceiling with one hand, just waiting for the concrete to crush me. That's when the fives started showing up. And let me tell you, it wasn't magical. It wasn't some Disney movie moment with sparkles. It was annoying. It started on a Tuesday. I remember it perfectly. My alarm was set for 6:30 a.m., standard. But I woke up before it went off. You know that feeling when you wake up in a cold sweat, heart hammering against your ribs like you just ran a sprint? I sat up, gasping for air. I looked over at the digital clock on the nightstand. 5:55. The red numbers were just blinking, pulsing. Whatever. That's what I said. I rubbed my face, got up, and went to make coffee. Black, bitter. I needed something to wash the taste of that anxiety out of my mouth. I grabbed my phone to check my emails while the coffee brewed. There was this one junk email sitting at the top of my inbox. Some spam about, I don't even remember, refinance rates or something. But the timestamp? 05:55 p.m. from the day before. I stared at it. A little frown creeped onto my face. Okay, that's weird, I muttered. I tried to shake it off. I got dressed, got in the car. I'm driving down the freeway, and this guy, this absolute maniac in a beat-up sedan, cuts me off across 3 lanes. I slammed on the brakes. Coffee spilled on my shirt. I was furious. I laid on the horn, ready to scream at him. And then I saw his license plate. 3 numbers at the end. 555. At that point, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. You might think I'm crazy. Honestly, I thought I was crazy. But for the next 48 hours, I felt like I was being haunted. My lunch bill came to $5.55. I paused a YouTube video to take a call, stopped exactly at 5:55. It felt like someone was poking me in the shoulder over and over again. Poke, poke, poke. So that night, I did what any desperate, confused person does in the 21st century. I opened my laptop, opened an incognito tab, and I typed, "Why do I keep seeing the number 555?" I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to read about angels or spirit guides. But what I found, it actually made sense, like logical sense. Think about it with me for a second. Numerology isn't magic. It's a sequence. You have 1 through 9. 1 is the beginning, the spark. 9 is the completion, the end. So where is 5? 5 is dead center. It's the middle. It's the halfway point. And think about a bridge. Where's the wind the strongest? Where's the structure under the most tension? In the middle. When you're at the start, you're excited. When you're at the end, you're relieved. But in the middle, that's where the turbulence is. That's where the storm hits. I realized something that night, sitting in the dark of my living room. 555 isn't a high five from the universe. It's not a "good job, buddy." It's a storm warning. It's the universe, or God, or your subconscious, screaming at you, "Hey, change is coming, whether you like it or not."
Change. It's a small word, but it's heavy, isn't it? We all say we want to change. We want the result. We want the 6-pack abs, the bigger bank account, the happier marriage. But we hate the process. We hate the chaos. We stay in jobs we hate because the paycheck is predictable. We stay with partners who don't understand us because being alone is scary. We choose comfortable misery over unknown potential. But 555, it's the cosmic green light. but not a gentle green light. It's more like the starting gun at a race that you didn't know you entered. I read this phrase that night, the great shift, and I felt it in my gut, that sinking feeling, because I knew exactly what it meant for me. I knew what I had to do, and I was terrified. The number was telling me that the foundation I was standing on, it was rotting, and if I didn't move, I was going to fall through. So, I made a decision. It wasn't impulsive, it was inevitable. 2 days later, I walked into my boss's office. My hands were shaking. I hid them in my pockets. And I quit. No backup plan, no savings to speak of, just done. Then I went home and I had the conversation with my partner that I should have had 2 years ago. It was messy. There were tears. It was chaos. You know that saying, it's always darkest before the dawn? Yeah, well, sometimes it's just stormy. For about 2 months, my life was a wreck. I was sleeping on a friend's couch. I was eating ramen noodles. I was questioning everything. I kept thinking, did I make a mistake? Was that number just a coincidence? Did I just blow up my life for nothing? But then, slowly, the dust settled. I started a new project, something I actually cared about. I started waking up without that heavy feeling in my chest. I started breathing again. And here's the kicker. The day I signed the contract for my new business, the day I finally felt like I was on solid ground again, I walked out of the building. The sun was blinding. It was a Tuesday again. I checked my watch, almost expecting to see it. It was 1:17 p.m. No 555, no magic numbers, just time. And that's when I understood. The signs aren't there to lead you by the hand forever. They're just road signs. A sign that says, sharp turn ahead. Once you make the turn, you don't need the sign anymore. You just need to drive. So, listen to me. If you're listening to this and you've been seeing 555 on the clock, on receipts, on license plates, don't freak out and don't get excited just yet. Ask yourself the hard question, the question you've been avoiding while you stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m. What is over? What in your life has expired, but you're still trying to keep it fresh? 555 is the sound of the cocoon cracking. And let's be real, for the caterpillar, that cracking sound feels like the end of the world. It feels like death. But for the butterfly, it's just the beginning. It's going to be messy. It's going to be scary. You might lose some friends. You might lose some money. You might lose your identity. But you have to trust the turbulence, because the only way to get to the destination is to go through the storm, not around it. So, take a look at the clock.